Hey up everyone, I'm back again. So I managed to pick up a nice new trinket from Nokia, which is the Lumia 630, which was recently released in May of this year to take on the low-end handsets such as the Moto E and the Xperia E1. It offers a very good performance according to Nokia for people who just want a phone which does the job, but has there been too many sacrifices made to keep the price quite low? You can get one of these for about 120, 130 quid off contract from most online places. It does run Windows 8.1, so it is running pretty much the latest Windows Phone software, which can't be said for a lot of Windows Phone devices, which still need to be updated. But in terms of the actual form factor of the device, I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised by how it feels. It certainly feels quite solid in the hand, and I think that most people are going to be quite happy with the form factor of it. In terms of its size, it's not too big and obtrusive. You can easily get your thumb around it. I like the rounded edges of the device, which make it much more comfortable than some squarer handsets. It's not too heavy, but it's not the lightest device. It certainly feels quite substantial compared to some other devices out there. But in terms of the actual way it's built, you can see that it's got a small speaker on the back, which I'm not really expecting much from. Also has a 5 megapixel camera with no flash support, unfortunately, but corners do have to be cut. It does have the volume rocker on the side as well as the power button, but no physical shutter key. Again, corners do have to be cut. USB on the bottom, nice traditional place, and headphone jack at the top. It is also nice that Nokia allow you to remove the back, which isn't too difficult to get off. And when you do remove the back, you'll find a healthy 1830 mAh battery, which is removable. Thank Nokia, because a lot of other devices that Nokia have been putting out, you can't really remove the battery, which is a bit of a shame. You can also expand the storage of the device to 128 gigs micro SD cards, which is very nice indeed, and it does take conventional micro SIM. So no nano SIM nonsense here. So it does have 8 gigs internal storage, so that's a little bit better than 4 gigs on a lot of the lower end devices, but it's nice that Nokia have given you the ability to expand the storage. But all in all, I think it feels like a very solid device. In my opinion, it feels more expensive than it is. It could easily pass for a £200 device or more. But as I said, some corners have been cut to keep the price low, such as no flash and no physical shutter button. When you do power on the display, you're greeted with a 4.5-inch LCD display, which is 480 by 854 pixels, and that comes out at 218 ppi. It also has Nokia's clear black technology, which is a nice touch because it makes the black levels on the device that little bit better. And also is covered by Gorilla Glass 3 to protect your investment. So overall, I'd say that the screen is serviceable. It's obviously not going to be the best quality screen. I'd put it below the Moto G in terms of its viewing angles and brightness. I put it about on par with the Moto E. As you can see, viewing angles aren't the best on the device. It does appear to be a bit dim as well, particularly when you're in quite a sunny environment. And because the PPI is a bit low, you do notice the text when web browsing. It's a bit not as sharp as you'd like it to be. But other than that, it gets the job done. It's you can certainly use it to do stuff on it. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't think that you're going to get the best quality screen for this type of price anyway. But quite hard to show you on camera, but unless you zoom in, you can definitely see that the text appears a bit blurry. So it's certainly not going to be for someone who does a lot of reading, I don't think. But if you do need to just check some information quite quickly, then it will do the job. Just expect to zoom in quite a bit. But as I said, in regards to daylight visibility, it does suffer a bit because it's not the brightest of screens. But you should be able to make out stuff as long as you bump the brightness up. Unfortunately, there's no ambient light sensor on the device on the front, so you are going to have to do things manually, which is a bit of a shame, but again, I guess it was done to keep the costs down a bit. But in regards to the actual specifications and processing performance, we're seeing the Snapdragon 400 again, clocked at 1.2 GHz with an Adreno 305 graphics processing unit. So I'd say that performance is very fluid, and I've not had any issues really. Opening up apps is a relatively painless experience. I guess this is something to be admired on Windows Phone. It always seems to give you a good experience no matter what hardware you're using. I've not really been able to slow down the device, to be honest. So yeah, it's not something for performance buffs, but I think that it will definitely do the job for most respects. One area which Nokia has let the device down a bit though is the RAM, which is only at 512 megabytes. That does mean that you won't be able to install every app from the store. I don't know which one I can give you an example of now, but just bear that in mind if you do use any Windows Phone apps which need 1 gig of RAM, because you're not going to be able to run it on this device. But again, I guess it's another cost-cutting measure to keep the price down. So overall, I'm pleased with the experience. I think that it certainly does the job, and is about comparable with the Moto G, I'd say, except for the RAM. But in regards to the camera, which is on the back, as I said, a 5 megapixel shooter, which can shoot in 720p. You do get either this default Windows Phone camera app or the Nokia camera, which is a very nice addition. I was thinking that they might have skimped on some of the Nokia software because of the price of the device, but I was pleasantly mistaken. So I'd say that the thing that puts this camera above the likes of the Moto E, for example, is that it supports autofocus, which is very nice. It means that you can get a nice detailed shot, whether you're close or far. But be aware that it is only a 5 megapixel camera, so ultimately shots are going to be very basic. But I think for most people who just want something to take a few shots when they're out and about, it's going to be more than sufficient. In terms of in good lighting, I found that shots are very good actually, like highly detailed and very crisp. But when you start to bump the light down a bit, that's when the camera can sort of struggle to maintain the detail, and you might see a bit of blurriness on some of the shots. But overall, it definitely does a good job, and it does come with quite a few customizable options, such as the white balance, the ISO, etc., which is nice. You can even put on different lenses if you want, such as Bing Vision. So it is nice. They've done a good job with the camera. I'm pleased with it, and it's certainly much better than the Moto E or even the Xperia E1, in my opinion. Video recording also very solid. Thanks to that autofocus, does a very good job at recording at 720p at 30 frames per second. So yeah, you've definitely got your camera needs sorted on this device. No front-facing camera, however, which is a bit of a shame. So just be aware of that. But in regards to the battery life, I found it to be very good on this device. It's much better than the 925, for example, or the 920, which generally the 925 would barely last me the day. But I found that the battery on this is easily capable of going a day and a half, I'd say, of moderate to heavy use, and then some. But I guess it does depend on how hard you are, like hammering the device. People who are more heavy users of data and GPS may just get through a day. But I think that Nokia have definitely done a good job of optimizing the software, or should I say Microsoft have done a good job of optimizing the software. Coupled with the efficient processor, it certainly does a good job on the battery, and it is removable as well if you do need to swap it out for a different one. Windows Phone 8.1 is on the device, as I said, and I'd say that it's a remarkably good improvement over previous iterations of Windows Phone. It's got, as you can see, more capacity to hold more tiles, so you can have a lot more going on the start screen. I like the way that the tiles spin around and just feel a lot more alive than they are. I also like the way you can put a customizable background on some of the tiles. As you can see, I've got the same background I've got for the lock screen on this group of tiles, which is a nice effect. This notification panel is a must as well, something which was sorely lacking from the last iterations of Windows Phone. Although I do think it's quite basic in comparison to, for example, some of the Samsung or LG handsets, which allow you to customize pretty much everything. I think that Nokia do have room for improvement on it, and Microsoft still. There's still some issues which I feel are a bit finicky than they should be, such as turning down the volume or turning it up. Sometimes it turns the wrong thing down, and also there's still the issue with the apps on Windows Phone. You can get most of the apps that you need nowadays, that's true, but for example, apps such as Plenty of Fish, which is a favourite of mine, is still extremely basic and quite pitiful compared to iOS or Android's equivalents. But I think in general, you know, the average user will be very happy with the software experience on the device, because you do get most of what you need nowadays anyway. I think that some of the additions that Nokia put onto the device, such as Here Drive Maps, is very good as well. It seems to be better than Google Drive in some respects. Google Navigation. I do like some of the other stuff that Nokia put on as well, such as the Nokia camera. I've not tried health and fitness. Probably not sure where that's come from. Looks like it was pre-installed on the device. But yeah, you know, it's very pleasant on the eyes. I like the different colours and everything, and it's certainly a refreshing change from Android. Just be aware of the slight lack of apps on the platform if you are an app person. Call quality and talking through the headphone, talking through the speaker, should I say, is very good, which is par for the course for Nokia handsets. The other person reported that they could hear me very well. I found that the music quality for the headphone jack is also very good, but not outstanding. Nokia, I don't think Nokia have put their music app on here, so you just stuck with Xbox Music. But overall, you know, the sound quality is decent. It just doesn't touch the Xperia devices, in my opinion. Yeah, you know, I'm very happy with what Nokia have done with this device. Apart from the lack of flash and slight compromises, such as the 512 megabytes of RAM, and also some of the missing Nokia things, such as Nokia Music. I think that they've done an excellent job at bringing out entry-level smartphone, and I think it's certainly going to be useful to people who don't want to splash out 300-400 quid on a device. And I'd say that if I wanted to bring a backup device on holiday with me, which was a bit cheaper, I think that this would certainly fulfill my needs, thanks to the really good battery life and just the general good experience of it. So yeah, that's been a quick review of the Lumia 630. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe or like it, and I'll be back shortly with some more videos. Cheers!